The final words of Hollywood legend Debbie Reynolds sent chills down the spine of those who heard them. Just one day after losing her daughter, Carrie Fisher, the beloved star, uttered a haunting phrase to her son, "I want to be with Carrie." Hours later, she suffered a stroke and passed away. Was it grief that took her, or did she somehow choose to follow her daughter? Now, the shocking recording that captured her last moments has surfaced, leaving fans stunned. Before she became a silver screen icon, Debbie Reynolds was just Mary Frances Reynolds, a girl from a struggling family in El Paso, Texas. Her father, a carpenter, and her mother, a laundress, worked tirelessly to make ends meet. The Reynolds family lived modestly, but despite the hardships, Debbie always described her childhood as joyful. Raised under the strict teachings of the Nazarene Church, she developed a strong sense of resilience, one that would later define her incredible career. But fate had something unimaginable in store for her, a twist that no one could have foreseen. At 16, she entered the Miss Burbank Beauty Contest, unaware that a single impersonation of Betty Hutton would change her life forever. She had no training, no fancy dress, and no Hollywood polish. Yet talent scouts from Warner Brothers saw something in her. With a contract in hand, she was thrust into the glamorous yet brutal world of show business. Her name was changed, her image was sculpted, and her journey from an awkward teenager to a dazzling star began. But the road wasn't smooth. Warner Brothers didn't see her potential and let her go. It could have been the end of her Hollywood dreams, but fate had other plans. MGM picked her up, and they were determined to make her a star. Under their rigorous training, she learned to sing, dance, and act, proving her worth in small roles before landing the role that would define her career. Kathy Selden, in Singin' in the Rain. She was just 19, with no professional dance experience, yet she was expected to keep up with Gene Kelly, a known perfectionist. He was skeptical, even dismissive, but Debbie refused to back down. The grueling rehearsals left her feet bleeding, and at times she was pushed to tears. Even Fred Astaire found her sobbing under a piano and offered to help, but she persevered, delivering a performance that would stand the test of time. Singin' in the Rain wasn't an instant hit, but as years passed, it became one of the most celebrated musicals in history. It was Debbie's breakthrough, cementing her as America's sweetheart. Her infectious energy, comedic timing, and undeniable charm made her one of Hollywood's most bankable stars. Yet behind the dazzling smile, there were struggles the public never saw. Her personal life was riddled with heartbreak, none more devastating than the betrayal that would make headlines around the world. In 1955, she married Eddie Fisher, the crooner America adored. They were the golden couple until Elizabeth Taylor entered the picture. The scandal rocked Hollywood. Fisher left Reynolds for Taylor in one of the most infamous affairs of all time. Debbie, left to pick up the pieces, showed remarkable grace, refusing to let it destroy her. Instead, she channeled her pain into her career, delivering unforgettable performances in films like Tammy and The Bachelor and The Unsinkable Molly Brown, which earned her an Oscar nomination. But no amount of success could shield her from the personal battles that lay ahead. By the late 60s, Debbie reinvented herself as a Las Vegas performer, securing $1 million deal that gave her financial independence. She was a trailblazer, proving that a woman in Hollywood could take control of her own destiny. But tragedy continued to shadow her. Despite her immense success, she faced financial ruin more than once, thanks to failed investments and a second disastrous marriage. Still, she fought back, determined to survive. But nothing could prepare her for the loss that would shake her to her core. Carrie Fisher was not just her daughter. She was her closest confidant. Their relationship was complex, marked by love, tension, and an unbreakable bond. When Carrie passed away unexpectedly, something inside Debbie shattered. The woman who had fought through every hardship, every betrayal, and every obstacle was suddenly too weary to fight anymore. Just a day after Carrie's death, she uttered those haunting words, "I want to be with Carrie." And then, as if her body had listened, she was gone. Now, with the shocking recording of her final words coming to light, the world is left to wonder, Was it heartbreak, or was it something beyond explanation? Debbie Reynolds was the epitome of Hollywood glamour, but behind the dazzling performances and red carpet smiles, her life was marked by betrayal, financial ruin, and heartbreak. Yet, she remained unbreakable. She wasn't just an actress, she was a fighter. From the bright lights of Caesar's palace to the financial chaos that left her bankrupt more than once, Reynolds' story is one of resilience, proving that even Hollywood royalty can be knocked down, but never truly defeated. Her career began in the golden age of cinema, where she quickly became America's sweetheart, winning hearts with her infectious charm in films like Singin' in the Rain. But as much as the world adored her, her personal life was anything but picture perfect. Her first marriage to Eddie Fisher in 1955 seemed like the ultimate Hollywood romance, until it became one of the biggest scandals of the era. Fisher left her for Elizabeth Taylor, shattering not just her marriage, but also the public's perception of Hollywood's golden couple. The betrayal made headlines worldwide, and Reynolds, humiliated yet poised, became the symbol of grace under fire. While Fisher's career crumbled under the weight of the scandal, Reynolds endured, proving that she was made of something far stronger than heartbreak. But if her first marriage was a scandal, her second was financial devastation. In 1960, she married Harry Carl, a businessman who, behind closed doors, gambled away her fortune. The losses were staggering. Millions vanished into casino vaults, forcing Reynolds to work tirelessly just to stay afloat. She performed in nightclubs nearly year-round, taking on grueling schedules to support not only her children, but Carl's children from a previous marriage. The price of love had never been higher. By the time the marriage ended in 1973, Reynolds was left with nothing, except the will to fight back. Then came Richard Hamlet, her third husband, whose financial misdeeds pushed her into bankruptcy once again. The man who had once swept her off her feet turned out to be her most dangerous mistake. He convinced her to invest in a Las Vegas casino, a venture that collapsed spectacularly, leaving her in ruins. But the betrayals ran deeper than money. He secretly transferred properties to his girlfriend and his brother, ensuring Reynolds was left powerless. The emotional toll was just as brutal. She later admitted that during their marriage, she had moments where she feared for her life. Yet, she walked away stronger, refusing to let any man destroy her spirit. Despite these personal and financial disasters, Reynolds never stopped performing. Even as Hollywood changed and younger stars took the spotlight, she found ways to reinvent herself. The 90s saw her making a triumphant return to the big screen with Mother and In and Out, proving that talent never fades. Critics and audiences embraced her once again, celebrating her ability to command the screen even after decades in the industry. Her resilience was undeniable. While many stars from her era faded into obscurity, Reynolds refused to be forgotten. Beyond the silver screen, her passion for Hollywood history defined her later years. She spent decades collecting iconic costumes and props, determined to preserve the legacy of classic cinema. Marilyn Monroe's white dress from The 7-Year Itch, Judy Garland's ruby slippers from The Wizard of Oz. She saved them all, dreaming of opening a museum that would keep Hollywood's golden age alive. But when financial pressures mounted, she was forced to sell off her beloved collection. Watching pieces of film history slip through her fingers was devastating. Yet she held on to the belief that their legacy would live on, just as she would. In 2016, Hollywood honored her with the Jean Hersholt Humanitarian Award, a testament to her dedication not just to the industry, but to making the world a better place. Her work with mental health awareness, particularly through the Thalians, helped countless individuals struggling with psychiatric issues. Few knew the depth of her contributions. She didn't do it for the recognition, but because she believed in helping those who needed it most. But just when the world thought she had endured every hardship imaginable, fate dealt its cruelest blow. On December 27, 2016, her daughter Carrie Fisher passed away at 60. Less than 24 hours later, Reynolds herself was gone. Her final words to her son Todd were chilling. "I want to be with Carrie." And just like that, she was. Many called it a broken heart. Others believed it was something more, a love so deep that even death couldn't keep them apart. Her legacy, however, remains unshaken. Debbie Reynolds was more than an actress, more than a singer, more than a mother. She was a survivor, a woman who took every hit life threw at her and stood back up every single time. Hollywood may have broken her heart, stolen her fortune, and tested her in ways most can't imagine, but it never, ever broke her spirit.